it's good that we've got Dushmanta Chamira as our spearhead now, and he's bowling really well.
These people, what they've showcased in England in the first three T20, we are not ready for it. We are not fast enough. We are not tactical enough, and we don't have a plan. We really do not know to build an inning, the new era of T20 cricket.
Incredible bowling performance by the Sri Lankan seam bowlers are getting overshadowed by the dismal effort by the batsmen. Hello and welcome to another episode of Around the Wickets. And as you all know, we are not in a great period for Sri Lanka cricket, as Sri Lanka has yet again lost another series against England in England, and this amounts to this series. Though we knew it was going to be a difficult one, but what really hurts is the fact that Sri Lanka did not offer a fight at all these during the three T20I games. We are going to speak a little bit more about what went wrong for Sri Lanka. And joining me today as well is Damith Weerasinghe and Sharmeegan Sridheran. Boys, not great time to talk Sri Lanka cricket, isn't it? And we as fans, we as people who are involved in promoting the sport, it's not a great time for us.
Yes, Sudarshan. I mean, not the ideal time, isn't it? People are up in arms against Sri Lanka cricket. So a very bad period, I should say. Because see, I've now as a journalist, I've covered cricket for I think more than half a decade, and it's been really disappointing. But what we witnessed over the last three games, I think that was probably the worst, I should say, especially when it comes to batting, because we've played well in patches at least. But this series, all throughout the three games, I think there was a huge gap between us and England, and I think. As I told you in the past couple of years, 5 to 6 years, none of the teams were able to show that much of a big gap between Sri Lanka or any other nation. But that's what we saw during this series, and it's really disappointing.
Absolutely, Damit. Normally, despite Sri Lanka losing, when we have a chat like this, what we try to do is we try to focus on the positives first, and then we speak on negatives. I think this performance or this series warrants us to speak about the negatives first, and then maybe look at the positives. Like you said, our batting has been absolutely dismal, and we were deteriorating game on game on game. First game, we managed to score 127 runs. Second game, we scored only 119, and come the third game, all of us were quite, relieved. Actually, we can't say happy that Sri Lanka wasn't bowled out for their lowest total, which was 82. We were cheering for the team to go past 82. Megan, the batting performance. If we speak about the batting performance, what went wrong for Sri Lanka? There are many things that went wrong for Sri Lanka, but for us to be discounted like that, what went wrong for Sri Lanka?
I think Sudarshana, what went wrong for Sri Lanka is it's going back deep to the roots, Sudarshana. I mean, the situations that where they were put in, the kind of shot selection that they chose. It all shows one thing, that we are not ready for international cricket. I mean, international white ball cricket. Our batsmen are not ready for it yet, because the game has evolved. The brand of cricket that they are playing internationally is different. So these people, what they've showcased in England in the first three T20, we are not ready for it. We are not fast enough. We are not tactical enough, and we don't have a plan. We really do not know to build an inning, the new era of T20 cricket. And the difference was that between the two teams, and also the fact of scoring areas and understanding that. And here I think is the place where experience came into play. I think they lacked a bit of it, because if you compare the batsmen, England batsmen, they scored a lot of their runs far of the wicket behind covers, so straight mid off. That's where they scored most of their runs. But when it comes to Sri Lanka, they tried to be leg side dominant. and they really didn't have the option of scoring late, playing that opening the face of the bat and running it down to the third man. They were not really doing that well. But when you go to England, and when the ball is moving around, you really have to open that face of the bat and play it with the swing. And I think that is also an aspect that I noticed in Sri Lankan batting performances. But other than that, it's basically we are not ready, Sudarshan. We are not ready for international cricket. That's all I can say. That's all I can see. Because when we look at our domestic games, when have we played a domestic game under lights, in the situations of a real T20 international game? Like, we don't play day T20 matches anymore. It's all under lights. But here in a T20 competition, domestic T20 competition, we play just day matches. When did we play last? I remember it's last when Sajid Fernando put together a provincial tournament, and that was a massive success, not just by reach, also by the quality of cricket they played. So I think those kind of tournaments should be played, and two good teams should be playing T20 cricket. That four provincial teams were like exceptionally good, and we saw really good matches, nail biting matches. But when have we seen that again in T20 cricket? And we don't have hitting power. I don't think players like Kusal Mendes or Dhananjay Silva, Niroshan Dikwal, I don't see them fit for T20 cricket. We have to get a good mold. I mean, this could be going with the trend a little bit, but I think players like Bhanuka Rajapaksa, they should be fit enough to play the 20 overs. They are good hitters of the ball. We have to go and find people like Bhanuka Rajapaksa, Shan Randika in the in the domestic circuit. Those kind of players, I think, should step up.
Well, when things don't go right, a lot of questions will be asked, and rightfully so. But what's a crime is the fact that the incredible bowling performance by the Sri Lankan seam bowlers are getting overshadowed by the dismal effort by the batsmen, isn't it? I mean, because Sri Lankan bowlers were right on top of England. You can't say right on top because England were that handling them, but Sri Lankan bowlers, especially the likes of Chamira and Bindra Fernando, and also Vanidu Hasarang in the first couple of games, were absolutely on point.
Yes, Sudarshan. Dushmanta Chamira, I thought for the past couple of tours he has been improving tremendously, and he's bowling really well. He's hitting that correct lines and lengths with his speed. He's consistently going over 140 Ks. So it's a very good thing that we have Dushmant Chamir also, and his death bowling has also improved. He's using those slow balls really well and hitting that Yorker consistently. So it's good that we've got Dushmanta Chamira as our spearhead now, and he's bowling really well, being a threat. Vanidu Hasaranga, even though he went for some runs in the third T20I, it's bound to happen. He's a wrist spinner. He did bowl well in that third T20, but in the first two games, as you correctly said, he bowled really well. So bowling, we could do something. I would say yes. Binder Fernando playing two games, bowled well, left arm seamer. I thought Isurudana was a disappointment in the third T20I, but I'm just a bit concerned when it comes to the selections also, because some of the players who we've taken, we've never given them a chance even to see the likes of Asita Fernando, Shiran Fernando, Dhananjay Lakshan, Ishan Jairatna. They've been a part of the squad. Asita and Shiran have been part of the squad since the Bangladesh tour, so they have not been given a chance yet. So that's really concerning. And if you are building a team, you need to give them some game time also. But nevertheless, bowling, we could say we were okay, but there's a lot of things to improve, and you cannot win games by bowling well only. You need to bat.
Oh, absolutely. Like Damit said, it's disappointing to see some area of the team which is faring good being undermined by the area of the team, because after all it's a team game. But another area of the team that was quite impressive and encouraging, Megan, was fielding. Fielders were throwing themselves around. That was a good aspect to look at, despite the world result not very favorable for Sri Lanka.
Yeah, that was one thing that we can get off good physical fitness level. We saw the fielders were really on money. They were sharp. They were aggressive. They always looked to attack, and that's one plus point to take off. But it depends, like as you just mentioned, Sudarshan, one aspect of the game come with.
All right, that brings us to the end of the discussion about the T20 series between Sri Lanka and England. But we will be looking forward to what is to be. The one day series of Sri Lanka and England. Three one days to be played. First one commencing on the 29th of June, then followed by the second one day, which will be on the 1st of July, and the next, which is 4th of July. Boys, I'm going to put this question to either one of you. What is the expectation when it comes to team composition? Do you think do you think needs to get the nod ahead to be part of the team, given the dismal performance of the batting? Who will lose out their place and who might get a chance in the 50 over format?
Yeah, I think Sudarshana Dhananjay Disilla will come into the side for the 50 overs game, and obviously we will see a couple of changes in the bowling attack also for the 50 overs. And with Avishka Fernando being injured, and he won't play a part for the ODIs also. So we'll have to see whether they'll recall maybe Patum Nisanka or give an opportunity to Charita Salanka. So we'll wait and see. It's just I'm pretty sure the team is in a very bad state now, a mental state. They've been completely outplayed by England. So it's up to them to somehow forget about the T20s and focus on the ODIs, because last time when we played ODIs in England, we beat them in 2019 in the World Cup. 50 overs is a different ball game. Yes, obviously England will be the hot favorites, but Sri Lanka must somehow believe in them and somehow turn this around. That's the only thing they can do. They need a complete team performance and somehow get a win under their belt, especially considering that this is also a part of the ICCI ODI Super League.
Oh, absolutely, Amit. I think that is going to be key for Sri Lanka cricket going forward because uh, like we experience, which is a little concerning because past couple of years, Sri Lanka were termed as a team in transition after a lot of the seniors and the legends of the game retired. But now, slowly but surely, a lot of the people are terming Sri Lanka as a team that is struggling. And we really did see the struggle. And when your backs are against the wall, that's when you really need to fight. And we really hope that Sri Lanka will put up a good fight when it comes to the 50 over format. Now, speaking about Sri Lanka cricket, Sri Lanka cricket has taken some very important decisions regarding the game of cricket in the domestic aspect and also in for the development of the domestic cricket in Sri Lanka. Damit, there were almost five decisions taken by Sri Lanka cricket. If you can tell us what are these decisions and their importance to the game in Sri Lanka.
Yes, Sudarshan, now with the ICC announcing the next cycle of ICC events from 2024 to 2031, I think Sri Lanka cricket have decided that they will bid for a Champions Trophy, a T20 World Cup, and a Men's Cricket World Cup. It maybe Pakistan, Bangladesh together. There'll be a joint bid for the main World Cup, but they are going to bid. So that's one of development when it comes to SLC. Yes, we are in 2021, but still, who knows? By 2026, if we are having a World Cup at home, we might have a good team. So we never know about that. But and when it comes to the under 19 setup, also they couldn't play the provincial tournament, Sudarshana, which were supposed to be played in May. World Cup is supposed to be played next year, the Under 19 World Cup. So they are what they have planned is to train about 65 players. They'll have a residential training camp. They need to start training soon. Some of the players picked from the schools tournament also. And of course, they've picked up 26 players who are not a part of the national squad. They call it the 18 white ball training squad. So now they'll be training in Dambulla for almost a month. If they are needed, they'll be called up for the India series, and they will also be trained with the LPL also coming ahead next month, Sudarshana. So, taking everything into consideration, that's why they have gone into another bio bubble in Dambulla, which is very good. They'll need to keep the players running because we never know when the need will arise, and of course, with the LPL coming in, they need to be game ready. So those are some of the decisions they've taken, and also to help out some of the clubs financially. So plenty of decisions like that have been taken by SLC to uplift the game. This is the first. These are the decisions taken from the first executive committee meeting from the new office bearers. Yes, they've been the office bearers last couple of years too, but this is the first meeting they held after being re-elected.
Amit, you spoke about the LPL, the inaugural Lankan Premier League was very, very successful. It brought in a lot of viewership, and also it was great for the players to play some very competitive cricket. Like Megan said, Megan, we've been informed that two franchises, Colombo Kings, the Dambulla Vikings, have pulled out of the competition, and Sri Lanka named five new icon players for the five franchises that played. Just take us through the development when it comes to the LPS second edition.
Yes, Sudarshan, two teams pulled out, as in two franchise owners pulled out of the tournament. And but nothing to worry about it is what Ravin Vikramatne, the tournament director, says. As the tournament will be played as scheduled, and yes, they named five icon players. That is for the five cities that the tournament is based on. So Kandy, it is Niroshan Dikwala, and there was Kusal Pereira for Colombo, and the goal it is Danushka Gunatilaka. I think he'll be retained in goal itself. And Dambula Dasum Chanaka, who was in Dambula last year, and Jaffna Bandu Asananga. All these players, most of them were in the same zone that they played last year, but except for Niroshan Dikwala and Kusal Pereira, who will be skipping it. But I think it's a good thing. This is the only largest tournament we play in Sri Lanka, and that we saw how successful it was in the first edition. So we are looking forward for the second, and let's hope that nothing will put the tournament behind, nothing will curtail this progress of the tournament. As we have not, as of now, we don't know who are the franchise owners who are gonna be the new ones, but. We are going by the words of the vice president of SLC, Raman Vikramatne, who says the tournament will not be affected.
Yes, and we really do hope that this year's LPL edition will also be as successful as last year's, because, like both of you really mentioned, LPL is going to be a very important game in Sri Lanka, and it's a very, very important for our cricketers to have a fighting chance, and in order to be competitive in the international arena, that we have a very good domestic competition in the likes of LPL. We'll move on to uh, the big story that happened week. The Ice Test Championship concluded on the 22nd of June. New Zealand finally winning an ICC trophy in English soil despite falling short the last time around. A brilliant performance by the Black Caps, and Damith, India were outsmarted in all departments by New Zealand. They outscored their innings. They managed to put in a great performance when it comes to bowling as well. What were your thoughts on this game?
I thought Sudarshana, it was a complete performance by New Zealand, and that game had everything. It went for the sixth day. There was rain. There was good batting. There was good bowling. There was good fielding. So it had everything. The game went on till the last session. So it was a very good, fitting final, I should say. India, yes, they've been playing very good cricket, Test cricket, I should say, over the past couple of years. But still, New Zealand, they deserve it. Sudarshana, Kane Williamson, and their team, the way Kyle Jameson bowled, the way Neil Wagner bowled, they hunted in a pack the New Zealand fast bowlers. They were really bowling so well, especially on that last day. So kudos to them, and hopefully with this new edition of the next World Test Championship cycle, it will motivate more the other teams also to do well and concentrate on Test cricket more, which is happening at the moment. But still, now you know the feeling of winning a Test championship. So everyone will now strive to become the world Test champion. So very good to see New Zealand winning, and as Simon Dull in the end said, sometimes nice guys do finish first.
Oh, absolutely. I think the way New Zealand dominated in this game, it did clearly show that they were on top. And I'm going to speak about one interest I picked up while watching this game. This was mentioned in commentary as well. New Zealand since 2013 up to now have used 32 international Test cricketers. They on the list of Test cricketers used in this period. They have used the lowest number of Test cricketers, which really a lot about them building a team around a couple of players who are the rocks and the mainstays of the team. But unfortunately, while watching the ICC Test Championship as well, the team that has used most number of Test cricketers during the period of 2030-2021 is Sri Lanka. 56 Test players used during this period. So, in terms of providing stability to a team and providing opportunities to the players, I think New Zealand has done a great job, whereas Lankans are forever changing the players.
Yes, Sudarshan. So now we know why we are in the bottom of the ranking, bottom of any of the ranking systems. I mean, the championship table or the ODI's league table, everything is because of this reason. Sudarshana, yes, we are saying it's a new team and everything, but still it's not a new team. They've played continuously for some time, and some of these players have been given a lot of opportunities. Some have been given only a few opportunities. So that speaks of the volume of New Zealand cricket and their professionalism. Sudarshan. I may be bold to say this, but yes, Sri Lanka cricket is one of the most professional sports in the country. But comparing to other countries, they are not anywhere near them when it comes to actual professionalism in sports and in every aspect related to the sport.
So there you go. With that, I think we are at the end of our discussion. Despite it being an exciting discussion, it is the times are rough for Sri Lankan cricket and the fans of Sri Lankan cricket. Thank you so much for me today as well for this chat, and hopefully, when we meet next time, we will have positive news to talk about and a game that we will dissect very happy and enjoy doing so. Thank you so much. So that's the end of this edition of Around the Wickets. It was interesting to talk about what went wrong for Sri Lanka cricket. We would have preferred speaking to you about how Sri Lanka managed to win the series, but unfortunately, we will do it another time when Sri Lanka going to make a statement, and we really hope that they will do so when they play England in the 50 over format. So do join the papare.com. You are a little bit about Sri Lanka cricket, but do not give up hope. We Sri Lankan fans always back our cricketers to come out of adversity. And we at the Papare.com, make sure that we keep covering Sri Lanka cricket no matter how painful it gets. And we hope that it won't get any more painful than it is currently. So do follow us on thepapare.com, Sri Lanka Sports Hub, and also on our Facebook page at the Papare Cricket, and also on our mail page at thepapare.com, as we will bring you all the interesting facts about Sri Lanka cricket. Until we meet next time, I'm Sudarshan Peri signing off for thepapare.com.
For premium content and exclusive member benefits, subscribe to thepapare.com today.